Hello there and welcome back to Wi-Fi Sheep. This is your January channel update. I want to start off by just welcoming everyone who has joined us over Christmas and the New Year period. Thank you so much for your interest and continued likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. Now, the big news for January is that we have started live streaming on Twitch. Hello there, welcome back to Wi-Fi Sheep Live on Twitch. It's 8 till 8 with me, Tom, and we're playing Hellcats Over the Pacific, the Mac Classic game from 1991. I've just swapped my cup of tea out for a bottle of beer. First beer of the night, and who can blame me? Needed. Yeah, they're not happy. They're not happy right now. Oh dear. Anti-aircraft fire. Oh no. I got the runway. I got the runway. Oh my goodness me, am I taking some damage now? I'm going to make a decision if I'm going to try and land successfully and end up killing myself, or if I should just ditch out the aircraft. Ah, no. Bringing the nose up. Do this. There we go. Oh, 4 fighters, 2 run. Well, yeah, I was going to say that was quite a mission. That's right. It's a brand new program that replaces our previous Wi-Fi Sheep radio show. It's called 8 till 8, and it will broadcast on most Sunday evenings from 2000 hours GMT. Until late, normally about 2 hours, so normally till about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And during the time, I'm going to be playing and streaming a number of retro games and computer systems. You can hop online, you can chat in real time with me, you can drop comments, and of course, you can tweet to me throughout the broadcast. If you want to know when we're broadcasting, you can find all the information on our Twitter feed. If you're not already following, it's at Wi-Fi Sheep on Twitter. That's at Wi-Fi Sheep on Twitter. A new year means new exhibitions, and I'm pleased to announce that as Wi-Fi Sheep, we have been confirmed that we will be exhibiting at the Acorn RISC OS Southwest show being held in Bristol. Now that will be on the 16th of February 2019. And that's going to be held in Bristol in the southwest of England. I'm going to be there as Wi-Fi Sheep, so please do come along and have a chat. I'm going to bring a number of retro systems, as well as some of the computers, concepts, programs, all kinds of things that you've seen on the channel over the past few years. It'd be great to see you. Obviously, last year has been big news with RISC OS going fully open source. The people that made that announcement will be there as well. Plus, there'll be a full theatre talks, there'll be commercial providers, and there'll be other programmers, developers. It's well worth coming to have a look. It's a small show, but it's well worth coming to. For more information about this, you can go to the RISC OS Southwest website. It's www.riscos-swshow.co.uk, and more information will be posted there in due course. So for 2019, I've got lots of things I want to get on and do. I've got at least 3 retro computer systems that need rebuilding. I know those are hugely popular with the channel. We're also going to continue our look at some niche and minority operating systems, and I'm going to carry on with some computer coding and building projects. So lots to be getting on with this year, and I hopefully by the time we're out in December 2019 that I'll have ticked a lot of my list off. But it's going to be really interesting, and I'm so pleased you're going to be joining me and we can share that together throughout the year. Okay, in what has been a busy few months for comments from you, the viewers and the community for Wi-Fi Sheep, I want to just have a look at some of those now and address them on video. So thank you for all of those of you that have participated and have posted and asked questions. Hopefully I've managed to answer most of this. However, let's just go through a few now and pick up a few interesting points. Okay, so this came in from Piano Key Joe, and it was quite a long one in multi-sections. Basically, the crux was asking about if the RISC OS 4 widget and icon sets were available in the Raspberry Pi version of RISC-OS 5. Now, thank you first of all for that comment. Basically, no is the answer to that. Try and explain this. RISC-OS 5, which is the free open source operating system you can now get for Raspberry Pi, is a fork of the last Acorn builder RISC-OS, which is RISC-OS 3.7, which came out in around 1998. RISC-OS 4 and, confusingly, RISC-OS 6 are completely separate commercial forks that originate from the same 3.7 source code. They did things and developed, but they were never made available for free. They required specific Acorn ARM hardware or clone hardware, so it never worked on a Raspberry Pi. You had to pay for it, or you had to run it on a commercial emulator, and a lot of the widgets, the development stuff was locked down to that system and was never ported through to RISC-OS 5. RISC-OS 5, and again this is confusing because of the numbers, RISC-OS 5 is newer than RISC-OS 6, I know, and is now more widely supported and is gone truly open source. I'm not saying if you couldn't get hold of the icon and widget sets that they wouldn't work. I just haven't been able to try it, and I can't get hold of them because I'm not a subscriber or a purchaser of RISC-OS 4 or 6. Anyone know any better? Please drop a comment on this. Let me know. But that's fundamentally how that works at the moment. But thank you so much for commenting, and I hope you enjoyed the content. Okay, quite a bit of interest in my video on Haiku, the open source x86 operating system for basically PC or Mac, a non-Linux, and what I thought and wrongly said was a Unix distribution. I'd like to thank Intuition, who commented saying that the Haiku kernel isn't a Unix kernel. Now, obviously, you boot it up, you type stuff in, it looks like Unix, it understands Unix, has a lot of the Unix commands and tools fitted. However, you were quite right, it's not actually Unix, it's just running a Unix shell. So the actual architecture of the operating itself is its own complete unique thing. But obviously being so in line with a Unix kernel makes it a lot more compatible and a lot more interesting to use and familiar if you've come from a Unix, Mac or Linux background. But thank you for correcting me on that, and I'm sorry I got that wrong. Another regular commenter, great to have you back on the channel with us, BooBoyBL, who had a go with installing Haiku and said that it actually worked very well on older hardware and was thanking me for bringing it to his attention. You're most welcome, and I'm really pleased that worked out for you, and obviously thank you for sort of participating, and I hope you get some use out of that. I will be returning to looking at Haiku projects in the near future. There's a few more things I want to do to the operating system, so we will be coming back to it at a later date. Okay, my slightly disastrous attempt over Christmas at running BBC Basic on the Commodore 64. This is a comment that came in from British Bulldog, basically saying that you can actually run PRG files on the C64 Mini and you don't have to just have the disk images. Now, I've not tried this as yet because I said I would and I haven't got around to it. I didn't know you could potentially just run program files and didn't actually need a compiled disk image for that to happen. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That might be potentially useful if we go back and try and look at what we can do with C64 Mini again. Yeah, overall I was a bit disappointed about the BBC Basic kind of not working, but it did say it was an alpha beta. It was never fully finished, and of course we're running it on top of effectively a Linux ARM emulator, so but it was an interesting experiment, and I'm sure with the rising popularity of the C64 Mini, we'll be back to doing further experiments with that device in the near future. This is quite an interesting comment on the Acorn BBC Master Raspberry Pi Co-Pro, one of the very first and the most successful video we've done on Wi-Fi Sheep to date. This was from Duncan Waldock, who basically sort of reminiscing here. The chugging 3.5-inch floppy, the micro mode for Sirius, and the Gem desktop are giving me Atari SD flashbacks. Need a double take to realise it's a B with an emulated x86 PC emulator. Yes, I know what you mean. It was quite impressive. Now, that video has been hugely popular. I still get comments on it, like this one. So first of all, thank you, Duncan, for taking the time out to comment. I'm hoping to get back to doing another review of the Gem system very shortly. I kind of feel that was quite an early video. I was still finding my feet with YouTube and with the channel. I think now we can get better capture, so I'm not pointing cameras at screen, and probably need to revisit that and go over it in a bit more detail. So look out for that in the coming months. Right, this is quite an interesting one. This was on my fitting of a video NULA card to a BBC Master. This came from Skunk Factory. I don't know what that's a reference to, but you know, me being innocent and all that. But thank you so much for commenting anyway. Said, you don't need to be so stingy with the flux. More flux equals better. Yeah, I wasn't being stingy. I was just running out of flux, basically. Yeah, but on the other hand, you don't want to drench the damn thing in it because flux, of course, is corrosive. So it's kind of, you know, using it within reason. Again, I'm hoping this year to do another video on maybe doing some soldering, some electronics, and we'll look at sort of how to kind of wire things together. I'm not an expert. I just have a method of soldering that seems to work all right. And now I've mastered how to use a desoldering pump better, thanks to the comments about that. Yeah, it should be an interesting one to do, and I do have a sort of building electronics project planned for the channel. Well, that just about brings us to the end of comments here on Wi-Fi Sheep. So thank you for all of you that participated and continue to do so. Really do appreciate the feedback, and it's great to connect with you as a community. There's lots more coming up here on the channel. I've got lots of new projects planned, so do keep subscribed, like those videos, and check back with us real soon right here on Wi-Fi Sheep. Until then, Happy New Year once again, and thanks so much for your company. Until next time, bye for now.